Installing Windows 2008 Server is not a very hard thing to do, but we must cover these 8 requirements in order to move forward. 1. Knowledge of the internet. 2. A lack of fear. Can't stress on this enough. 3. Sufficient hard drive space. For the purposes of this tutorial, we'll be using a recommended 25 gigs of hard drive space. 4. At least 2 gigs of RAM, but of course, more the merrier. 5. We need to have an operating system pre-installed. Be it XP, Vista, 7, it could be another operating system, Ubuntu, Mac, whatever the case is. But so long as we have a pre-installed operating system in order to run the VirtualBox. 6. The operating system CD or ISO. I will not divulge where you can acquire this ISO or CD. That is up to you. 7. The VirtualBox software. And 8. Time and a little patience.
Okay, now let's get started on our installation of our virtual machine and setup. We double click on our VirtualBox software. See, it's going to open up and it's going to give you a list of your pre-installed operating systems. If you don't have any, let's create a new one. We're going to hit the next button or Control N. We're going to be given a window. Here's where we select our operating system. You can select the type, be it Windows, Linux, etc., as well as their corresponding versions. We are installing Windows 2008 Server. So let's give it a name. We ensure that our type is set to Microsoft Windows and we select the version Windows 2008. We're going to hit next. This is the amount of virtual RAM or virtual machine we'll use. It's currently set to 512 and we should leave it that way. If your system allows, you can increase the amount of RAM to your liking. But we're going to leave it at 512 for now. We're going to hit next. Our virtual hard drive. The recommended size here is 25 gigs. What we're going to do is create that 25 gig hard drive. So we'll select our create a virtual hard drive now, radio button, and hit create. Here's where we select our hard drive type. We leave it at default VirtualBox disk image or VDI. Hit next. There are 2 types of hard drives. First is dynamically allocated. Second is fixed size. We will be selecting dynamically allocated. It will be of the small size 104 kilobits. As our installation progresses, that file size will gradually increase, but not beyond our 25 gig limit. What fixed size does, it grants us the full 25 gigs virtual hard drive space. As files and information is added, that file size will also increase, but not beyond our 25 gig limit. We'll select dynamically allocated and hit next. This is where we store our virtual hard drive. As you can see, it's aptly named. If we so choose to increase or decrease the size of our virtual hard drive, we can just move this slider to the right or to the left. To store our hard drive, we need to click on this folder here. Choose location for a new virtual hard drive file. We'll select that and we store it somewhere safe, preferably with enough space so that when it expands to the full 25 gigs, it wouldn't be a bother to your system. We'll click save when we come to an appropriate place, and when all things are good, we create And here is our virtual machine. But we are not done yet. We still need to set up the virtual machine itself. So from here, we're going to click Settings. Here are some of the same settings we saw earlier. For example, the name, the operating system type, as well as its version. If you so choose to change it, you can go right ahead. We'll leave everything here as default. Next, we'll click on System. And again, same settings as before. We can increase the virtual RAM size. What I like to do in the boot order option is deselect floppy and move it down, leaving CD/DVD-ROM to the top, as that's where we'll be booting from. If your system allows for multiple CPU processing, you can enable this option. Enable I/O epic. After that, you can move to the processor tab and select the amount of CPUs available to you. For this tutorial, we'll just choose one. You leave everything else as is, click on Display. Here's our video memory. We can increase this to the max or somewhere lower, but for now we'll just choose 64 megabits. We can leave everything else as default. Next we click on Storage. Here's where we actually add our CD/DVD in order to install our operating system. As you can see here, we have our hard drive already attached. So from here we'll select the empty CD. We will next select the CD icon in the corner here, set up the virtual CD/DVD drive. On clicking that, we will get a list of our pre-installed or pre-used CD/DVD files. But I'll show you where you can locate yours, or wherever it's stored. Choose a virtual CD/DVD disk file. From here we can navigate to it. We select our CD file, or ISO in this case, and we'll hit Open. And there it is, added to our virtual CD/DVD drive. Leave everything else as is. We can hit Audio. We can leave audio as default. Move to Network. Now for our server, network is important and a correct setup is needed in order for this to work. With your adapter enabled, we will select the Attach to drop-down menu and shift it from NAT to internal network. From here we will click the Advanced tab. We can select our network cards. Preferred card here is the Intel Pro. We will also change our promiscuous mode to allow all VMs. If you feel the need, you can change your MAC address by hitting this circle here. From there, we also have our serial ports, USB, and shared folders. For now, these could be left at default. When we are satisfied with everything, you can go ahead and click OK. Hitting these drop-down menus, we can actually see the settings that we've changed. Again, once we're satisfied, we can go ahead and start our virtual machine. We hit OK to capture our keyboard and mouse. Here's our operating system booting. We're going to get to this screen, and what we're going to do from here is select Windows Server 2008 Enterprise Full Edition. We're going to go ahead and click Next. We accept our terms and agreements, although nobody ever reads it. We're going to hit Next. Then we're going to hit Custom. What this does, it installs a clean copy of Windows onto your virtual hard disk. When that's selected, we're going to see the hard drive we created earlier. Just make sure it's selected. If you have multiple hard drives, make sure the first one is selected. It's going to expand, install features, install updates, and complete the installation after a couple reboots. System is going to restart and boot once more. Again, can't stress this enough, do not press anything here as the installation will restart. System is going to apply some more settings. Continue completion of the installation. Finally, we're going to come to the screen where we'll need to change our password in order to enter the server. Just click OK. The password convention for Windows Server is a capital letter, a symbol, and a number. All three must be inclusive in your password. For this tutorial, I'll just use a makeshift password, capital P, Shift and 2 to get the @sign, Command SS W 0 RD. Now I'm going to press Tab to confirm the password. Again, it's capital P, Shift and 2 to get the @sign, Command SS W 0 RD. From here, we click the arrow button and move forward. It's going to change the password. Then we're going to click OK. Next, we boot into Windows. And there you go. You've just installed Windows Server 2008. Congratulations and good luck.